Hey guys, welcome to my vlogs. James T here. I'm a little bit more in a natural setting today. It's in the backyard because today we're going to be talking to a friend of mine that I've known for a number of years. She's a practitioner of magic. She is a Wiccan. She is a self-proclaimed witch. She is a very interesting person. And we're going to talk a little bit about that faith, a little bit about that religion, the difference in the experience from here and Massachusetts and different places. But listen with an open mind, open heart, kind of get the feel of a new faith, a new religion that you might not be very familiar with yet. But we've got that one coming up, and let's go ahead and switch to that. And say hello to Eileen. Hello, Eileen. James T here. Hey, you guys. Good day, Chattanooga. Welcome to my vlog. I'm here this time with an interview with Eileen. Eileen's a good friend of mine. We've known each other for a few years now. And we're going to talk a little bit about her faith and her practice as far as being a pagan, being outside of the norm as far as, especially in the South, in religion. All right, Eileen, you want to introduce yourself a little bit? I mean, you moved here from where?
Attleboro, Mass. Mostly in Boston, Worcester, Mass, Massachusetts.
Okay. Well, that was a change.
Yeah, it was beautiful. I had friends here that I came down to visit, and I loved your mountains. Reminded me of Bad Tölz, Germany. And I said,
yeah.
I said, well, you know, this would be a great summer home. So we bought a summer home.
Mm-hmm.
Not knowing that I would eventually live here full time.
Okay.
But
okay.
I'm glad I did.
Awesome.
No snow.
Well, every once in a while.
No snow. No snow.
Well, that's gone in 3 days,
yeah.
So, you know, it doesn't really count compared to Boston, definitely. Now, as far as your story, you started practicing magic, witchcraft. You started going into your faith and belief. I wondered if you could describe it to me, how that manifested in your life. You know, where were you raised? How were you raised? And how your practice, how you became, you said Wiccan.
I am Wiccan.
How you became a Wiccan and where that came from.
I blame my mother for most things. Most people. My mom was from County Cork, Ireland. As all my neighbors, the females, were from Ireland. So we were secretly in the Catholic Church, openly in the Catholic Church. And we went to catechism, and we went to Sunday Mass, and we went to Sunday parochial schools. But when we came home, our moms were doing what they called kitchen magic. Mm-hmm. The salts and the oils and the altars of the Blessed Virgin. And
would they do literally spells where there were like verbal parts, ritual parts, that kind of thing?
Everything was repeated. Like you would do, please Saint Anthony, come around, something's missing, got to be found. But you said it on a regular basis. And when something was found after you do this chant, which was a chant, you would throw salt over your shoulder.
Yeah.
Okay. Or thanks Saint Anthony. Mm-hmm. Or even the Catholic Church has what's called a novena, and it's usually to male saints. But St. Jude was my mother's saint. St. Jude is the patron saint of hopeless cases. So you do that 7 times. Mm-hmm. And when that was answered, you thank St. Jude and throw salt over your shoulder. So even though it was legal in the Catholic Church, it was very much witchcraft. I mean, it was spells and chants and words and the belief of the earth. Mm-hmm. My mother would go up and get gravel and dirt and put it on our doorstep with salt. And so, yeah, it was practiced, but it wasn't discussed.
Right. So it was just kind of like a subliminal, it was there but you just kind of absorbed it, kind of thing. You didn't really study it.
I don't know, right. Well, with my mom, it was. Yeah, I don't know if it ever was discussed with us kids. We just knew that we were supposed to do these things.
Okay.
Put pennies in the ground for the leprechauns. You know, so she believed most things earth magic and respected the earth, and we had to before recycling was even thought about, we had to recycle and
composting and
walk.
stuff like
Yeah,
that.
walk gently. She used to say, "Walk gently, leave nothing."
Well, we would say having a small footprint,
Right, that's what
right?
they
Like
say.
a small
Right.
carbon footprint.
Right, that
kind of
was
thing
before
today.
my time. Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's what
Yeah.
she did. So
Okay.
that's how I got into knowing that I wasn't a regular religion. I was more the witch type person.
Okay. When did that hit you?
About 12, 13.
Oh, 13.
I started reading books. I think it was the first one I read was The Solitary Witch.
Mm-hmm.
And started reading about witchcraft. I guess all teenagers do out of curiosity, and if allowed to develop it, becomes, you know, pagans or whatever. But I knew that that's where I fit in.
Okay.
So then I went looking, and I went looking for a covenant.
And where was this?
In Worcester, Mass.
Okay, Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. There's a very open community, even in the 60s and 70s, which is my era of witches. Thanks to Salem. Thanks to Laurie Cabot, who is the head witch of Salem. She walks downtown with her black cape. I mean, she's gotten much older. I don't even know if she still walks downtown. I've been down here 15 years, but she does teach in the colleges, and she teaches religions, different religions, and Wiccan is a huge part of it because she does crystal magic every week on the web, and so she was my teacher. She was my mentor, I guess.
Okay.
But the covens were part of the same group.
Okay.
Back then, you could get in covens with warlocks, or you could be in all witch, female witch coven, and I joined the female witch coven.
Okay. Well, you said warlock. I've heard that just as a matter, there are male witches and female witches, and then warlock was kind of a derogatory term. Is that not true?
Oh, probably, but you're forgetting I'm old.
Okay.
I'm from way back when.
Okay.
It wasn't then. It wasn't
wasn't.
offensive then.
Okay.
The males were the warlocks, and we were the witches.
Okay. So maybe that's just something that came from Hollywood, maybe.
Yeah, a lot of stuff comes from there.
Yeah.
Although my kids, my kids were raised Wiccan, my kids will tell you that they learned their religion through the Labyrinth, the movie with David Bowie.
Oh yeah.
That was their Bible. That and Never Ending Story. Those were both their Bibles. So that's how they learned how to be Wiccan in their religion. So, Hollywood helped a lot, although it's not real.
Yeah. Well, Hollywood will often twist a story to make it sellable to the real crowd. You know, here, have this prepackaged story with all the little bows on it that we've added. Right? Just to kind of make
they
it
have a
more
new
popular.
show out called The Good Witch. I haven't seen it yet, but I guess it's,
I have heard of it.
Yeah, I guess it's really about spell magic. So she does some serious spell magic, but it's not the charm. The T-shirt, the show Charm, they became very popular in Salem because of the triple goddess, and the symbols were all over the place. The charm symbols.
Here's one. Have you watched Supernatural?
No.
You know,
No.
It has a lot of magic in it.
Does it real magic?
Reflective, yes.
Okay.
It's more of a. Parts of it are even Harry Potterish in ways. There's incantations, there's sigils, there's magic, there's different kinds. There's like human witches, then there's Enochian magic from the angels, and then the demons and all the other gods and stuff. They're all there. But the funny thing is, I watched an episode of like an interview
what is this
thing,
called?
Supernatural.
No, I've never heard of it.
You've never heard of it? Oh, you're gonna love Supernatural. You're like, but they were interviewing the guy, and I just lost his name. It's not. It's Jared Padalecki. Plays the character Sam.
Okay.
And he was talking about the sigils that they make in like either demon traps or in warding or whatever it is that they're doing. And if you watch the show, you'll see the sigils are actual sigils. They're Norse.
I can't wait.
They're some of them are Hebrew, some of them are actual Enochian. And he said one time he was making a sigil. He was actually doing a scene where he was doing the thing, and they cut the scene, they cut the cameras, and the prop guys, the script guys came up and went, "No, you did that wrong. You can't do this.
That I respect.
You did this." But he's like, "Who cares? I mean, it's just, And everybody looked at him and was,
We care.
they know.
Yeah.
The people who are watching the show will recognize that sigil and will tear you apart in the criticisms of it. So you have to make it right, because 2 weeks ago in that episode you did the same sigil.
Right.
You can't do that, because they will flip back 3 weeks and watch that episode, that scene,
And
then go, "Oh, you screwed it up."
Yeah.
Right?
That's
So
amazing. Sean, even though it was early on, tried to do the exact same thing because it was being represented by the triple goddess, the three women.
Yeah.
So they tried very hard. They asked a lot of people in Salem, even Bewitch, asked a lot of the people from Salem,
Samantha.
yeah, what we should be doing, because they were going to be the first ones on TV to not be Catholic or Jewish or Protestant or whatever. They were teaching something different, and that this woman was coming into play. It was always the woman. It was always the Siamese cat, and they were going to do spells. So it was the start of the Wiccan movement or the pagan movement. Or
There is a beautiful statue of her in Salem. I haven't been there personally, but I've seen pictures of it.
Right downtown, right near the shops. Yeah.
Kind of move things in a direction, didn't it?
Right. Laurie Cabot insisted that be there. Although Laurie Cabot they didn't have a mayor of Salem. She was voted in as the head witch, and she insisted that Samantha be there because she was the start of all of it. But these TV shows, the producers actually came and asked people, "How should we be doing this? What should we be doing? Is there stardust, or is there just no stardust, or like Harry Potter with his stick?" So that was the start of teaching people how to be a witch.
Awesome. Okay. Now, you said you were Wiccan.
Correct.
How long have you been a Wiccan?
Since I was about 13.
About 13?
Yeah.
Okay.
I say all my life, but
Okay.
I realized I was different at 13.
Okay. Now, we've heard the word Wiccan in popular culture, in modern society over and over and over again, with the preponderance of the internet in everyone's life. You see it on Pinterest, on Facebook, and all these different things. So the newer generations, we're a little older, right? I'm 52, right?
Yeah,
I didn't grow
by a whole bunch of years.
Right. I didn't grow up with that stuff, just like you didn't. But the new generations have, so they've been exposed to all this stuff. Now, when I say Wiccan, or when you say Wiccan, are we talking specifically a religion or a practice?
I guess both. I definitely practice earth magic. I believe that the elements rule my daily activities. I believe in the changing of the moon. So I practice rituals during those times.
Okay.
But
you mean a specific purpose at a specific time?
Like summer solstice is coming.
Right.
So my altar will change.
Okay.
And I will have a lot of the same things like the crystals and whatever on there. I'll cleanse it to be for the summer solstice, but I will bring in seeds because it's summer planting time. I'll bring in flowers and plants and put them on my altar. I will bring in things that relate to the sun because it's a solstice. So it changes with the practice of the seasons. It changes with the practice of Yule or Beltane. My altar changes.
Okay.
My altar takes up a very large dresser. And I can't do the whole house because I have children in the house that are not my children, they're foster kids. But
right.
They know that I practice. Nobody's allowed to touch my altar.
Okay.
And I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's real world.
I just want to make sure it wasn't a kid. But So I practice, but I also believe it's my religion.
Okay. Okay. As in a
Does that explain
specific
it?
deity.
That's Dana. Help me, Bridget.
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 Okay.
I believe in the triple goddess. I believe I'm a crone. I have gotten to the end of my life. That is my job to try to teach and guide. I was a warrior at one point. I was in the U.S. Army, and before that, I was a child. So I believe strongly in the triple woman. The woman has definitely got strengths unbelievable if she allows herself to find them. This is about 100 kids going to Lake Winnie this weekend. That's what that's about. But I worship the goddess Bridget. She was very strong in our family. She was a little bit of a hellion, so I guess I relate. But there are other goddesses in the woodsman, and there are gods that I worship too, just not so strongly.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay.
All right. Now, have you run into specifically, you said you've been here in the South about 15 years.
Yeah.
Have you run into basically hate mail or hate language or, people being aggressive about your religion?
Yeah.
Or anything
They
like
don't
that?
understand it. Well, immediately they think you're a devil worshiper.
Right.
Which is fine, except I don't do the blacks. I mean, people do worship the devil, but that's not my cup of tea. I'm into the white. So, I came down here, and my dogs are Pomeranians, and they've always worn little charms on their collars. And Ramsey had on a pentagram, and I was only here for 2 weeks. I was coming down for a vacation, but I needed to get him groomed, and I took him to Petco.
Okay.
Forgetting he had on his collar that he wears all the time. The lady behind the desk threw up her hands and said, "Are you a devil worshiper?" I said, "Excuse me?" She says, "You got that thing on his collar." I said, "That thing is a pentagram." I said, "No, I'm not a devil worshiper, but he is. He must be, right?" And I walked out.
Yeah.
Down here, they didn't understand any of the symbols. I went to a flea market and tried to buy supplies, and there was no supplies. I'm not used to that. I'm used to being able to buy my spells and stuff. The South is different when it comes to religions. They're all very Christian aspects, and if you're not Christian, you don't fit into the norm. So,
Right.
I have never had hatred.
Okay.
Take an awful strong person to show me much hatred. I've had a lot of bad talking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like trying to
criticism.
convert you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Really
Church of-
aggressively?
The Church of Christ would love to convert me. Absolutely.
Yeah.
They tell me that I'm going to go to hell,
Yeah.
and I told them I didn't believe in hell, so that was okay.
No, that's interesting because I was talking to an atheist in a previous episode, and he's never run into that. He's been, he's like part of the actual Chattanooga Atheist Club. He's the president.
He's never bumped into that?
People talk to him, but after their meetings and their panels, they go to community college, that kind of stuff. They do a panel, and there's a Christian, there's a Muslim, there's a Jew, there's an atheist and a Hindu, that kind of thing. And he said at the end of it, he's had people, like ministers, come up to him and shake his hand and say, I just didn't really understand.
Well, I do have a friend who is a minister in church, runs his own church. And we'll get into conversations about pagans and witchcraft and whatever. His curiosity level is there. But I'm sure behind closed doors they're warding off the evils of being around Eileen. So, no, I generationally I'm older. I kind of moved into a place with a lot of older people. I wore shirts that's charmed in Salem, or I have shirts.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you got something out of that, do me a favor, smash that like button, give it a thumbs up, go on over and hit the subscribe button so you'll get notifications, hit the bell, make sure you know when the next video is coming up. And if you have any suggestions, please send me a private message. What would you like to know about Chattanooga or this entire area? Anything part of Eastern Tennessee, Northern Georgia? If you have any ideas, let me know. Thanks for watching.